about to go downtown.
Downtown, hey!
Downtown. You about to go downtown.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to Downtown Music. And I'm excited for this segment because we really get to know artists that don't have the iHeartMedia packages yet and blasting on the radio consistently, but artists that I feel like they're making quality, great music and they need to be heard. And we like to get to know them and their stories. So today we have boy Pape with us in the building. What's good?
How are you? Hope the day's going well. Hope everything's going well. Hope you're staying cool today.
Thank you. Trying.
Yeah, trying your darndest, exactly.
Trying. So Downtown World stands for Don't Waste No Time with Negativity. And that's what we're all about on all spectrums, all levels. Now, we've been going through a lot of shit, pandemic, a lot of things we never experienced before. How have you, boy Pape, been doing? How have you been handling, maneuvering through all of that?
I mean, yeah, it's been a roller coaster, I guess, like it has been for anybody else. I feel like I speak for a lot of people when I feel like I've seen a lot of people either really like work on themselves or like ultimately like detriment, which is kind of crazy. Or I've seen them like kind of fall back like that and then really like build themselves up like during the same time period. But I mean, I feel like, yeah, it's been a ride for everybody. It's definitely been interesting for me. It's been different, like not being out at like live shows and like social events and stuff like that as much, because I feel like that's a great way to connect. And doing everything on the internet is like, it's strange.
A huge adjustment.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I'm definitely like a flesh to flesh person, so that's been a kind of a weird thing from like the music side. And then yeah, just like I mean, it's important to like watch after your mental health for sure. So like I've been getting into like a lot of like exercise and stuff like that just to like kill time.
What kind of exercise?
I've been biking. I swear, oh man, I've been biking like crazy, like stupid, like 40K, 50K a day, and I've never done that in my life. For some reason, I think I'm like Lance Armstrong all of a sudden. So now I'm right here, Tour de France every day. No, but yeah, it's been doing like a lot of good stuff for my mental, I feel like, and it's a good way to like see people too. Like if we can't be like, you know, on a patio somewhere or something like that.
It's a good way to like still hang out and like be safe
and socialize. And exactly. So
I'm really happy that you like brought up mental health, because with you know, trap, hip hop type of music, like I feel like, or pop, people, you know, it's becoming more popular or more normalized to be thinking about mental health, and people are like challenging. I know I'm getting deep really early, but people are even saying in terms of like music industry and labels and things like that, this is something that needs to be a part of or brought to the forefront when signing artists, especially because you have people, as I said, with huge, everyone has mental health issues. It's very important.
I think, yeah, everyone definitely has their own trauma. I think life is, it's a crazy thing. And I think it's like, it's inconsistent for everybody. You can't look at somebody and it's not a cookie cutter for somebody else ever. So everyone has their own baggage. Everyone has their own way of dealing with it and coping with and stuff like that. And I feel like, yeah, that's something that should be addressed more in, especially with like the pressure that's put on by labels and in certain situations. Yeah, I feel like it should be more of a monitored thing by the people that are employing these artists in certain situations. I feel like, yeah, it would be in their best interest to, I think, pay more attention in the means of like just checking up with them, making sure they have time away from like from their craft sometimes if it's needed. Like, I mean, most times if you're around somebody and a lot of the times these people that you're involved with in your team, whether they're industry or like just in your personal team, these people are with you almost every day. And like they know what they know what you're like on a good day, they know what you're like on a bad day. You feel me? And like when you start to have more bad days than good days, that's a really good time to step in and interject. And like I don't think a dollar sign should ever come like ahead of. And I know like that's an unpopular perspective for sure, but I don't think a dollar sign should ever come ahead of like signs of like trauma or distress of someone that needs help.
1,000. And I just love that. So thank you for sharing, you know, just the importance on that in your lifestyle, because when you think about it, like I'd be like everyone in the entertainment industry, everyone of course, but like media is what I deal with. And we need it. Like from people like you're saying, the touch, the feeling, having concerts, arenas, clubs, wherever you're performing, and like getting to witness or enjoy great music, and then all of a sudden it's like stay inside.
Yeah, yeah. And like as
Cold
like
turkey.
yeah, and like just as human beings in general, we're not built like that. Like we're not built to be like
Facts.
compartmentalized like that. Like supposed to be free in like in whatever sense you feel you can
Free.
apply
Yeah.
that. Yeah, exactly, for you. But yeah, to be like to have like I guess a higher kind of authority step in and be like, yo, like this isn't cool anymore. When
Yeah.
it's cool our whole lives. That's been something I've struggled with a lot, like to be honest, yeah, over COVID, because so like yeah, it's never happened before for like anybody.
Facts.
Like
No one.
like normally like if something's like not right or I'm like, yo, I'm going through it, I'll ask like my pops, I'll be like, yo, what did you do like at this time of your life if you like experience similar, and I'll get like a 1-2 advice from him that normally helps me out. But no matter who you ask, no one's been through this.
Been through this. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's like the first time for everyone, and no one really knows like the right way to deal with this kind of thing, and like there hasn't been like a proven way because we're not even through the other side of this yet, you know.
Facts.
So and I mean sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, boy.
I feel like at the same time too, like because you can like there's so much like rising, like there's a lot of rising like just energy in the world right now for like bad, like some terrible, like for a lot of terrible reasons. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's been like, I feel like that's been like, I don't know if that's because we're on social media more that we're recognizing that more, or it's because
Yeah,
of like,
it's more like literally put in front of your face. There's no way
yeah.
you can really ignore it now.
Or is it because of like the whole, this is like something too, like normally when there's something of like this kind of catastrophic event, it's like country to country based. There hasn't been anything I've been alive for, at least, that's been like worldwide like this. So I know it has, for the most part, like most of the world has been affected by it. And like on social media, I see that like a lot of things are happening, and like I'm not sure if that's like, you know, if it's being like amplified or increased because of like everyone's temperament, or if it's just because we're seeing. But like yeah, I think regardless, it's made me realize that there's like a lot more like wrong in the world than I thought. Coming from like a privileged upbringing and like being where I'm from, and like I'm born in New York, but I moved around.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So where are you based out of?
So I'm in Toronto right now. But I'm a mutt though. So I was born in New York. I lived in New York for 8 years. And then I moved to Toronto, well, just north of Toronto, in like the 905 area. Because my pops is from this area, so he moved back. Like they moved back. My mom and dad moved back. And then yeah, I did my high school up here and everything, and then I was down in Oklahoma City on
high school?
I was at Aurora High School, like north.
Okay, yeah, you're way up north.
Yeah. It was strange to like be like the town itself is really nice, and like but because I don't know, I never really got to stay in one place for too long. Even like when I moved back to Canada, or like when I moved to Canada for the first time, I moved like a few times within Canada before I was in high school. So I never felt like I got roots anywhere really. And then like in Aurora, like it was a great place to grow up, very safe and stuff like that. But like post high school, I can't say I talked to like a lot of people for like so like
I love that you said that, because I feel like that's what your music like describes me. When I was listening through your body of work, it was like when someone goes through life and so much has happened, or they've seen a lot of things, and like they never really had someone to like look to the left or right to be like, do you peep this? Do you see what's going on? Or like to have with you consistently from like this day to that day of your journey. And it's just like, I don't want to say like loner vibes, but people that just have to like perceive the world and understand it for themselves. And they're like, I can't trust nobody. Not saying I don't fuck with people, but like, this is what I've observed through like having to learn shit dolo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like just seeing it for like what it is, like from your perspective, instead of like, and sometimes it gets really hard, especially like when your perspective is not everyone else's perspective around you. Definitely becomes a little more difficult. But I think that makes like you more yourself when you're able to do that, like when it's not exactly like favored to do, you know?
Facts.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did high school in Aurora. and then and like yeah, most of my elementary school was in that same area, but just in like different districts. So I was still switching schools, like didn't yeah. So and then I did I was playing baseball like because I grew up in New York. I was like heavy on baseball, so I ended up on a baseball scholarship in Oklahoma City.
Sick.
So that was a good experience. And
What position?
center field.
Okay, okay,
Like
okay.
a finessey fast boy. That's all. But yeah, it was a blast. And like that's oh fuck, that's like that's a different area of the world too.
Legit.
Like being like for a bunch of reasons. Like
The big O, we know.
like from like just it being like the Bible Belt, there being like extreme racial tension. They were like ridiculous.
The Bible Belt, that is a term I've never heard.
Okay, so the Bible Belt is like Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas. It's like a lot of the southern states, and it's like where Christianity basically like rules all.
Got it.
And in turn or coincidentally, it seems to be like an area where like there's a lot of racial tension consistently, and it's blatant. And that was something that was new to me because, I mean, yeah, like in Aurora, I mean, there's not too many. Like it's very Caucasian.
Yeah.
Like but like when I was in New York, it wasn't like that. And like so I already I had seen that part, but in New York, it wasn't as blatant to me either, like the racism. And when I got to the South, I realized like how fucked up like it really is, and like like just how unfair it is. And like
where do you fall like on that spectrum of things?
Black Lives Matter, like fully. There's a few circumstances that like,
but don't say that because I'm sitting here in front of you, but like I'm interested to know because
I'm gonna tell you why so there's a few circumstances that like I was in just because of like not even like just because like it was just normal day shit for real. But like my day went way different than like my friend's day who like was of a different race. And not because like and we were doing the exact same thing, like we're doing the exact same thing. So there was enough times where like a lot of the guys on the football team, we were all in the same dorm. So we catch like a ride back. Some of the guys had cars and shit like that. So sometimes like I catch a ride back with the football team. I didn't have a car. I'm Canadian. I'm down there. Like I don't but some of the dudes on the football team did. And it was like a lot of the wide receivers on the football team were like on the floor, on my floor in the dorm. So those are the guys I was closest with, guys I was catching rides with back to the dorms the most. The amount of times we got pulled over and the amount of times like they get pulled out, put in cuffs, and they leave me in the car. Like, and the only difference is because of like what I looked like. And that shit like, and like what, that shit just cheesed me. And like, just how blatant it was and like how like unapologetic it was and how okay it felt it was like, it drove me up a wall. And there's enough like just things like that. And I saw like worse things, like definitely worse things, like and it just really turned my head and just made it like extremely like there's not two ways to look at it. Like once you see it a certain way, you can't really like look
away and pretend like it didn't happen. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because, you know, conversations like these is what helps to unnormalize what was considered normal and okay. And like, it's really important for us to like all understand like wrong is wrong and right is right. It's not a fact of, you know, you're this way, that way. It's like, if I see something fucked up, I'm going to say it's fucked up. And exactly. I really like strongly feel, as I said, a lot of this, like at least 97% of this thing we call music is dedicated to, or is only exists because of Black people. And it's like, a lot of the times,
Black culture. That's the only reason hip hop is around. It's the only reason.
Not even just hip hop. You know what I mean?
The only reason jazz is the only reason.
All of it. Rock. All of it. All of it.
We can go. Even to like even why cannabis, which is like now one of the biggest booming industries in Canada. The only reason
they found a way to get rich.
Black culture. Yeah, and like it's crazy when you go into like the history of it and like how this shit. It's crazy. It's nuts.
And that's why it's like just with anything you learn in life, it's really important to like respect the origins and like just give, similar to an artist, you can relate to that. giving credit where credit is due, you know? I look on your project, and I won't say project, sorry, for your newest track, Wrong Time, Wrong Place. Love the track. And it's like you're seeing a lot of real shit on there. That's why I was like listening. Even other tracks you had like Jovic, and but you had a consistent theme, and that's why I was like listening through like a good amount of your songs. I was like, okay, like I fucks with you because I could hear all of that through your music. Like you're not taking advantage. It's not clout chasing. This is your real life. And you know, unfortunately, but fortunately, you were in certain circumstances where it was just like, this is what I saw, and like I'm gonna speak on it, and it's not okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think yeah, like one of the biggest things I pride myself on like right now, and like I think some like a place I've gotten into my life is like I like how like authentic I can be in my music, like regardless of how I think it's gonna make someone else think, you know? Which is like that was like I feel like for a lot of people too, and especially like being in like just on social media and like having to put yourself out there all the time, and then like certain circumstances like when just like getting to like the Timberlake tour and always having to put yourself out there and like be in the public eye and like stuff like that. It like, yeah, it changes like, yeah.
But it's hard, right? Because I can admit, like even on the media side, when I see certain things happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really wish I did not have to like post or write an article about this or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's that stance of being like, yo, when time goes on and history goes on and people are going to look for resources and ways to figure out what was happening in 2020, what was happening in 2019, I want to be a great reliable source, a truthful source, giving like, clear perspective. And how do you think about your music in that sense? Because I won't lie, I feel like a lot of artists just make music to make music, and just like you're wasting radio waves right now.
I feel like the way I make music is like it's pretty like emotional, and I would say it goes off of a lot of like experiences. So like I my mind moves like super fast all the time. It's always been like that. But I'll go through my day, and like whenever I have thoughts that like I'm like, oh, this could be like like this is the start of like an emotion that could like become content of a song. Or like, this is the start of like an experience that like I could dig deeper in and maybe like, you know, dig up some graves and see what happens. But I think like staying in the moment and like remembering what you feel in that moment to like make someone else feel something when you want them to feel that in that moment is like really, really important, like to me at least.
Facts, it is.
In music, and like that's just something I try and practice as much as I can. Like I just go through my day and I'm always writing like, every day, every single day. Like so
like yeah, I know you kind of touched on it, but what is that writing process like for you?
It changes. Like it depends on what kind of mood it is, and it depends on like what gets me to write in the first place, I would say. And like what's going on in my day, because like I feel like if I have like a really dark thought and I got some shit to do that day, I'll probably like jot a couple notes and leave it for later kind of thing. So like I'll see my nieces and just be like, hey, you know. So yeah, but like when I do take the time to write, it's I normally make sure I'm in a state where like I can be like unjudged. So like I'm either writing alone, or like when I go to the studio, I'm not one of those people that have like 20 people roll. It fucks me up. Like it fucks up my vibe. It fucks up like, and then like I'll see someone like it could be like it could not be about me, but like say they got like a weird look on their face and they're just in the studio and like I see it, I'll be like, oh, that's about me, because I'm so focused on me.
Focused on
So I like to go to the studio with like maybe a producer. Sometimes my manager pulls up, but it's the producer engineer. Like And
so do you write in the studio, or do you like
I like to
write at home and then go to the studio to record?
I'll write like a couple notes and then take it to the studio, and then I like to like for the most part too, I like to like finish a song in its entirety. I'll go back and switch lyrics, but like as far as the structure and like I like to have a full idea before I leave, because once I leave and it's not full, I'm really good at like, I know myself that I'm really good at finishing projects if I don't capture that whole emotion. So I like to finish things like top to bottom as much as I can before I leave, whether it means I'm there like for 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, doesn't matter.
Because on like the financial side of things, right? I'm thinking like, what's more cost efficient for an artist? Of course, you're not dealing with like a huge label budget yet. Are you signed?
No, not right now.
Okay.
I've had like some situations in the past,
Mhm.
but I'm way more happy being unsigned right now, especially with a lot of labels right now because of like acting and some other things that I do, and like because of my status in like music. I'm not stupid, so like they'll
You
try
know
and
your
get.
value.
A lot of times they're gonna try and get me into a 360 deal, and that 360 deal will include my acting and like modeling and stuff like that. That have nothing to do with the music side, and they're not necessarily helping with that.
Yeah.
And then there's been yeah, like most times it comes down to things of that nature.
So those
And
are two. Yeah.
and then
Sorry.
like and then them like wanting me to be something like I'm not.
Yeah.
And like uh that has like in the past, and like I'm really happy with where I'm at right now, and like I'm making more money than I did when I had like a situation like
Yeah.
right. So I'm and like I'm happy. You feel
And
me?
you're able
Like,
to see where it's going, because I'm thinking
yeah,
if you're that's studio time adds up, right? So when you're independent, I'm thinking you're thinking of all these avenues when it comes to what can make you more efficient but yet successful, and where you can better like allot the money, right?
I think like something to be spoken for is like relationships, and like that's why I feel like being
Mm,
the flesh to flesh relationship, because there's like 9 times out of 10 when I go to a studio, it doesn't matter if it's like doesn't matter what studio, I'm not paying. Like
mm-hmm.
I'm pulling up because of like a relationship I built
That
with someone
relationship,
before
yeah.
that. And I'm grateful as fuck for that, because I know
Yeah.
how rare that is. And like, but that's why I never like discredit like how important it is to be like a good person, like be yourself, and
Yes.
be like to stay myself, you know? Because if you're not staying yourself, then those opportunities won't come to you, and like those people won't come to you either.
Yeah.
I feel like all those things were built because I was myself. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to pay for a studio time
Yeah.
right now, but like I
It's
know what it's
costly,
like
I
to have,
tell you.
like, yeah, I know what
So
it's like to have like I just know what it's like to have like friends that like I'm like fortunate enough to work with too, and like have like a business partners on like a level where they understand me well enough where they're
you understand the vision.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. So your relationship now with the producer, Slow Jams, for the record, Wrong Time, Wrong Place. How did that develop? Were you just like going through like Trackstars or something? You got up on the beat? Like how'd that come about?
That's my guy. I've known him for like almost 3 years, but um I met him through actually Drew York. Shout out Drew York if you know who that is.
All right, no, educate me.
He's extremely talented, kind of A&R kind of role guy, but he's just a huge content creator, and just like huge Toronto music advocate.
Oh,
He's a legend. He's done a lot of things for a lot of people, out of the goodness of his heart.
what was the name again?
Drew York.
What is his Instagram?
Drew York. Yeah, he's got a show also, but
I feel like yeah, the name's starting to ring
like one
familiar.
of the things that like not too many people know, but you know Curtis Waters, like that stunning song. I'm a pretty boy, I'm stunning. It was like #1 in the world for literally. It was like high up.
I feel like okay.
But it's Canadian. I think he was nominated for a Juno and stuff, but it was
Sick.
like he actually was like the first person I've ever seen to believe in that guy. He was the guy, like Drew was that and this Curtis Waters kid's from Cali.
Yeah.
And like Drew does the most for the people he believes in. That's like the best way to put it. But that he's
The
a
people.
absolutely great, great
Yeah.
soul. But it was because of him just connecting people like so.
Yeah. Being selfless.
Yeah, he was in a session with one of his artists, and he manages a few artists as well.
Mhm.
And he just hit me up and he's like, you need to work with this Slow Jams guy. And he was just in the session with him, and he was going like he's working on an opportunity for one artist, and then like he doesn't even
Thinking
manage
of someone else. Yeah.
he's just and lo and behold, he was like 1000% correct, because I met Slow, and this guy feels like my older brother for real. So
Sick.
and like the way I've like that me and him work is like I've never worked like that fluidly with anybody. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like he's you know those people like really like in music. I don't know if like how musically like into music you are, like, or how much
Very.
but okay.
Very.
So like if you're playing an instrument or you're humming something and you're like, yo, just do something like this, and like, oh, this, and they just do it
It
perfectly.
just gets it.
They're
You
like
know, it was like that.
those guys. Yeah.
You know, like that, so random. If you ever watched the story of how the thong song was created, and Cisco and like all the people that were really behind like the production and the creating, so all those violins, like none of that was originally like on the beat of what he got. He found like this. It would have been like a guy he found on Kijiji or some shit, and the guy was like, same shit like that, and then the guy was just like, "Do you mean something like?" And then he's like, "Yeah, that's it right there." And he's like, "I didn't get into what I was gonna." No, he's like, "Don't change it right there."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's one of those guys. I'll come over with like a reference track because a lot of times like I'll get like beat sent or like I'll look for like a certain sound or like a certain song will like will like trigger me to think of something.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll send it to him. I'll be like, "Yo, like something like this, like and then like I'll go over and I'll have like. I'll get like too into the melody of the reference I sent him, and I'll be like rapping exactly like that or singing exactly. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then he'll pull up this beat he made like while I sent him that reference, and it's like, yeah, he's just next level. But and then aside from that, he's like a super good friend as well. He does a lot of great things for a lot of great people. He works with Sean Leon as well, like Freddie Gibbs, Jacoy.
Sick. Sick. Did you hear the Gibbs and Lloyd Banks track yet?
No, I need to.
Super hard.
Like I gotta.
I want to be fair and don't like have this whole discussion of who had the better verse. So I'll be fair and like let you just hear it out first. But super hard, super hard.
Yeah. The hardest Gibbs verse I've still heard is on Old English.
Okay.
With Thug and Ferg.
But see the thing, Thug is like just that.
It's old. Thug, you think Thug's dead? Is what you said?
No, I'm saying like Thug is just like he's God level. Like every favorite rapper will say like Thug is one of their favorite rap. Like he has a stick under the dress. That's sick.
Thug is so sick. Thug is like the most himself. Like Thug is the most himself man ever.
Yeah, you know I love it.
That's like the pinnacle of like just being like yourself and like being rewarded for it, in my opinion.
But I love the fact that like you had that relationship and built that relationship with Slow Jams, because it's like you'll hear other stories, for example, with like Jim Jones and Harry Fraud, and like he'll tell you, "I've never met this guy, I never seen this guy a day in my life." And Jim Jones has put out at least his last like I think 2 to 3 projects and a lot of with Harry Fraud. So it's just like
email address essentially.
You have to find what works for you, but when it clicks, it clicks.
It's exactly. And like I think that's like the craziest and like one of the best rewarding feelings too, is like when you're doing this kind of shit and like when you just feel like it clicks, because like there's no recipe to this shit. You feel me? So like you just do something until it feels right. Or like just, work it out, like just like malleable, just like, just like So it's crazy when it actually like when it clicks that easy and like that consistently is a cool feeling.
It is.
And it's like it's weird because I used to have to like Uber like out the way to this guy because I was in, like when I first moved down to Toronto, like I've been down like downtown for like 2.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Since like I was in LA a bit for a bit and then so now I'm like here. And but I used to go like out the way, like for the and now he lives like a block away. He moved like a block away, so it's just like pieces are always just like moving. It's funny. It's just funny the way the world works. And like now I just walk over to his house for sessions and stuff. It's cool. It's cool.
That's sick. That is sick. See, and when shit happens like that and starts clicking, like I get excited because I know that moment, like running downtown world and everything, when shit starts clicking or you find a rhythm or like the universe is really just bringing the shit to you. And like you can just taste the success of what's coming. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you start tasting the fruits of your labor, it's like, it's an amazing, especially, it's just amazing, especially when you know you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're really doing it from like, from yourself is. So
I want to ask, a lot of conversation has been happening with like top 10s, top this, whatever. Give me your top 5 rappers. Let's go. Let me see what you're working with. Let's go.
Okay. Thug.
Top 5 rappers in the game.
Thug, Childish Gambino. Donald Glover just in general is a fucking genius. If you know, like, Childish. Key.
Who?
Fat Man Key.
Okay.
Some of these aren't going to be as popular. Like you're not going to.
It's
Like,
your top 5. Let's go.
Teddy Bear. He's like you're not going to know who that is. You might not know who that is, but he's from Toronto.
Shout out to you.
Super dope artist. But he's actually the person that got me like really into and like inspired to start taking it seriously. And fifth, shit. Yeah, let me see. I might have to go through my phone. I'm looking. Yeah.
How have you not said the artist of the decade? What's happening?
Okay, I'll give it to I'll give it to Drizzy.
Honest response.
I'll give it to Jizzy. I'll give it. Yeah. I feel like that's like
too
obvious one.
Even in my lane of what I do, we cannot. Okay, I respect that because that's for the same reason I feel like I don't really put Jigga on lists because he's just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's on every list. Like.
Yeah.
That's just what that is.
Yeah, but exactly, and yeah, Drake's going off right now. He is going off, and like. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he's. Yeah.
But I feel like that part, especially as Canadians, I'll broaden the scope from Toronto. As Canadians, like going through, it's important for us not to be timid, not to be whatever, to say that because, as I quote this bar a lot of times, it's not about who did it first, it's about who did it right. And if I'm going to say someone from the city who's done it right, who's bust down some doors that we didn't know fucking exist, so that we could get our shit moving the way it is, we have to say Aubrey Graham.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. Nothing will be the same here. Like part of the pun.
Pun intended.
But like, it would not be like, and just me being like stateside, having a dual citizenship, and like being in the scene and like just working in the scene in LA and working with the scene here and seeing how close.
Put in that work.
Getting and but seeing how close like the scene in Toronto is getting to like this shit is getting worldwide.
That's what I'm saying.
For real. And like. 10 years ago, that would not even be in discussion. Like it would not even be the same discussion. Like Toronto would not be in everyone's mouth the same way it is when you go down like to the States right now if it wasn't for Jersey. You're right.
Period.
1000%.
Period. And it's not a sucky dick. I don't care what people have to say. The more blessed I get in this industry and the places I'm able to be, tiptoeing and peeking in these doors, like we need to really give a man salute whether you're OB or whatever or not, like period.
Too, this man, like the facts that he the way he's like broadened the way everything he does too. He's gone from just music to like I remember when I was in Memphis, Tennessee. This is in like 2009, maybe 2010. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was going through a mall in Memphis, Tennessee, and I seen him like, in a Sprite ad in Memphis, and I was like, whoa! And that's when like I first realized like
we're out here
too. Like he's down here too. And like I was like I knew about Southern Smoke and like I knew about all that and that project being there and being recorded there and like all that I knew about all that and like but to see him like just literally a poster boy in a mall in Memphis and I was like you're really out here. That was like that and I wasn't even into music at that point but like just in general like I was like because I love Canadian music. I loved his music and like and I still love his music, but like at that time, it was when he was coming up. You know what I mean?
Beautiful times.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. Like seeing him work with Weezy, another one of my favorite. Like it was the craziest thing, and to see him really busting through at that time, like it's something I remember right now. You feel me? That like still drives me. I still get excited.
That's what I'm saying. Like when he did the Vegas performance and Baca was with him. And the fire, the pyro and everything I was like, these niggas don't understand. There's some real Toronto niggas right now in Vegas. Like this, I'm just like, it's no time. Like this is a thing. And for me, I will ever rep this for Toronto and Canada. If you're trying to win, there's no time for that. But if you do have time for that, then stay local. And that's what it is. Yeah. So like, you gotta like, it's chestnut checkers and you have to give respect where it's due. You know what I mean? So
precisely.
Salute to that. When you think of like your own career trajectory and like just the moves you're making, I love seeing how everyone in Toronto is kind of bubbling up and doing their own thing and it's coming out just so beautifully. Like we didn't have a chance to speak before I put out the Toronto playlist, Passion Fruit. But that whole playlist, top to bottom, slaps, and it's all Toronto. I didn't really do Brampton, Aurora, none of the else, Kitchener, none of the outskirts. It was just Toronto, and it slaps. Like I had people hitting me up like, "Yo, are you sure this is all Toronto?" I'm like, "It's all Toronto."
Yeah.
And it wasn't a Drake heavy, Tory Lanez heavy playlist either.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't like it was all top 40 mans and shit. Yeah.
It wasn't even that. Like I had from alternative to electronic to slow jams to girl groups to spitters to trap, like, and that's to show like, yo, we have everything.
Everything. We do.
Stop playing.
Like, it's actually crazy. It's like how much talent it is and how diverse and like it's a mini LA, like for real.
Oh, we're big LA.
Yeah,
big LA. Toronto's out here. Let's go.
It's different now, for real. It
is. You go on Clubhouse. People right now, what I say, I feel like the industry is like everyone's kind of looking to be like, what's happening here? We need to position ourselves. Position yourself so that when they do look to say, all right, what's happening here? Who should I connect with? Your name is on that list, right? Kind of like when people go to Chicago, they know they gotta solidify with No Jumper, certain different little things. But as I was saying, in the trajectory of your career, like how do you see it going? How much are you trying to get this?
I mean, I would do, honestly, I'll do anything for this shit. And like the best way like I can be me is expressing myself. So I see myself doing this for the rest of my life, no matter like financially where that gets me. And like right now I'm fortunate that I mean, I'm not collecting no CERB money, you know, so I'm cool.
It's real out here. It's real.
Yeah. So and like, if I can pay my bills like off my music at all, or like off of entertaining people and doing what I love, I consider myself successful. So like, I see myself doing this for as long as my body allows me to, for real.
1,000.
Because I just want, and I want to always find a way to do it from like a place of passion instead of money. And like,
very important,
because I know it's I've always tried to do it that way, and now like money is just starting to come, which is nice.
It's
I mean, but you know,
hey,
like,
when I get my PayPal notifications, I'm like, thank God, like,
exactly.
I don't have to wait no 14 days for this, B. It's real.
And it almost, it's just like, it's something I've dreamed about, honestly. So the fact that I'm doing it now, I'm content, but I'm not like full. You feel me? I'm still hungry. So
I'm forever hungry. Let's go.
Yeah. So I want to see where this goes, and just keep like finding myself and like just evolving myself and seeing what that brings. And
who do you speak to? Like, who do you feel like you speak to the most with your music? Like, if you were to say, just from your standpoint.
People, I feel like I speak for like a lot of people that like don't necessarily like want to say the things I'm saying themselves. So like, I'm really blunt with emotion. I'm really like, and like really blatant with like what I'm saying. And like some people can't be, but I get messages like all the time from people being like, yo, this is like the other day, this guy in Cam H was like phoned down, is like helping me right now. And then
wow, that's huge. Shout
like,
out to Cam.
that beautiful. It's a beautiful organization itself, and the work that they do for people that need it. And like, trust me, most people I feel like at one point or another need help. So that's an amazing service. But just stuff like that. I end up like running down and just like dropping off merch for the guy too. But like, cause that shit makes me so
that's
happy.
Real. That's
like,
that's our real shit right there.
That's like a fan for life now. Like, I talk to the guy still and like check up on him and stuff. But like, just knowing it helps people like that. And like, I made that song particularly at like a time where I felt like vulnerable, and like a lot of things like weren't going the way I wanted them to. So like, when someone hits me in a certain situation or a similar situation they find themselves in, like, yo, this resonates to help me and helps me get out of it, because I feel like I'm the only one like going through it.
Yeah.
Kind of people are ready for.
That's huge. No, that is a full circle moment, indeed. I wanted to ask you as well, you know, you mentioned you wear many hats, right? So what would you say is like your number one baby? Do you have a number one child?
Uh,
You got sports, you got
like
music, you got modeling.
like honestly, my family, I would say. Like I know that's corny probably, but
No, it's real.
in a time like maybe my answer would have been different like 2 years ago. Like
Facts.
fact.
So that's why I said it's real.
But yeah, just like being through this time and like almost losing my dad and like just in like the last 2 years and like there's been like a lot of ups and downs like when things are taken away like and like a lot of things right now I feel like I've been taken away like in right now, but like the biggest thing that like that was like almost taken away from me was my dad, and like that nothing like comes close to that. So definitely family's number one in my life right now. And like yeah, I got little nieces and like I got sisters, you feel me, and like I got my mom and dad, so like I got people I gotta look after and like help out and, like yeah, that's my number one.
I know I'm gonna become a multimillionaire. I just want my mom and dad to be able to see that shit before they go, so that all them ass whoopings I was getting, all that shit, I could be like, "Who you gonna beat now?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll pay you not to. Yeah,
take the stack.
Yeah.
What's good?
Yeah. Go eat. Get out of here.
I feel you. Many of the viewers and our family here at Downtown World know that my dad battles with cancer, and you know that is, I don't talk about it much, but I resonate with that a lot. So prayers to your dad, love to your dad. We see you, King. You got this. All right, and let's just keep being grateful for the things that actually matter. And I feel like COVID really like helped to enlarge that voice of just like
what really matters and what's extra, like what's material and what's real. So
facts and what's real to you, because what's real to me may not be real to you, but when it's all said and done, we could look out, and as we said, everyone has their different mediums of happy. We may not be collecting no CERB and having that luxury of being like, all right, this is something that I can have to kind of fall back on if I don't sell this merch to pay my fucking rent. You know what I mean? But at the same time, as I said, I don't have to wait every 14 days to get paid to do something I love. There's no one I gotta clock in with. There's no one here telling me, yo, you took 20 minutes on your 15-minute break. There's none of that.
Yeah, it's like,
and that's true happiness for me.
Exactly. Yeah, being your own boss and deciding like, the funding yourself off of like yourself and your passions, like that's the most like complete way I would live my life. So I love to see you doing that for yourself.
Facts. Thank you. So in one of your songs, you spoke about your financial advisor, right? And economics is something like I also speak on sometimes because there's a lot of ways for, as I said, COVID has taught you pandemic to get it. You see who's getting it and who's just fumbling and just saying, you know what, I give up. How important to you, especially with being an artist, we were kind of touching on it, but like the whole financials and having people to tell you how to properly, not tell you, but help to guide you properly manage your money.
Super important. Like it's something I like learned recently too. I can't even be like, oh, it's something that I've always practiced because that's some bullshit. Like I just throw money. Like I don't
we weren't raised in that. Let's be real. We weren't raised in that, so we got to learn that.
Exactly. Yeah, and like there's no like high school course for this shit like at the time. Like I don't know if there is now.
No.
Like there's nothing like that at all. So like the first time I got like money, I ran through it, and that was like a huge like hindsight's always 20.
If I knew then what I knew now.
Yeah, exactly. So like so like that was like the biggest mistake. I'm like having some knowledge in that like prior to like those experiences with like touring and like Netflix and like stuff like that, and like especially them like simultaneously happening. That was like a fucked up thing too. Like, but I don't think I was ready for like the influx that was coming after and like how to handle that. Like I think this time around, like I mean, like, fool me once, like shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
It's lessons. It's lessons.
Yeah. So like this time, you learn. If you don't learn from your mistakes, then
it will be taught to you again.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be making the same ones for a while. So This time I just handled it differently. And like, yeah, I think when you make a right decision for yourself and it works out the way you want it to, that's a reward in itself. Like aside from like what you're doing it for. So like, yeah, the more times you do that and the more times it happens in a row and like consistently and like and like you see the pattern in it, the more confident you are to keep pushing for yourself, I feel like. And like, yeah, that's just, yeah, I'm just trying to stay in that lane.
Facts. So what can we expect from Boy Pape moving forward? Because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like, and now you kind of confirmed it earlier in our conversation, you got a lot of things in the stash and the cut to come. So
Yeah.
what can we be expecting from you? Are you going to be broadening your scope musically? I'm going to be hearing some like, I don't know what to expect because you're giving some great things. So
I'm definitely branching out a little bit, like musically, working with some people I haven't worked with, like too like that I really want to work with, but I haven't worked with like too in depth yet.
Yeah.
One of the guys I'm working with, well, it's actually they're a couple. They're called Once a Tree, Jaylee and Hayden Wolf. But I have a project that I'm doing with Hayden Wolf. He's a producer. He's a native producer, indigenous producer.
Yes.
And from out in BC. And
shout outs to all of our indigenous people. Love you.
Big facts.
Love you.
And
yeah.
So I really fortunately linked up with him, and it's very similar to Slow. I've like just built a great relationship with him, and I'm really excited about with him. And yeah, I got like the rest of the Bad Winter project's coming out. There's like more songs on that I'm like super excited about, both produced by Slow Jams. And I have a next project coming out. You're the first one I've told this to, but I have a next project called Good Summer coming. And
exclusives. Thank you.
So yeah, there's so I have a project called Good Summer. It's all produced by Slow Jams again. And I'm super excited. That's like a really different kind of body of work for me. I feel like it's like the most like experimental and like
tapped into another part.
Yeah, I feel like that body of work is like caught up to like where we are in this conversation, if you feel me. Like I have to look backwards. So like but I feel like the way I'm talking about things now is like very similar to how I'll be talking in that project. So I'm really excited about that too. And yeah, I'm just excited to see like where this takes me. I got some acting things on the way as well. COVID's puts a halt on a few things. It has been some just because of the nature of acting.
Yeah.
Change up, but there's a couple more roles and things like that coming down the pipelines as well. I'm really excited
to see.
Keep
us in the loop.
Definitely.
Don't be a stranger at all. Don't be.
I got you. I appreciate your time very much. I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
And if I can help you in any way, let me know as well.
So I want to ask you before I let you go, Downtown Music. As I said, I am a real connoisseur, lover of music. It is like serious life for me. It's probably been more of a guide, angel, and a babysitter for me in life, the most out. And and there's a whole range of songs that I could be like, these are some songs that timeless throughout life that have really helped shape me into the person that I am today. But if there's a record that you could say, or two, that you could say, you know what, no matter what's happening, when this track comes on, it just brings me back. Like, you know, in Inception, when Leonardo DiCaprio, he had like the dreidel. So like when he come back and want to make sure he's in reality, he would like, so what, give me something.
Do you know the song Tato by Masego and FKJ?
Okay. You're putting me on. What is the name?
Tato, it's TADOW.
Oh, okay. I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
I don't know how
to say it. Tadao.
It might be. I don't know how you even say in the song, but it's so hot. It's old, but like it's.
Love that record.
Comes on, I'm moving in some way. You feel like it's too good. It's too good, and like that's the best like feel good song. Another really good feel good song that has kind of like an old vintagey vibe, and like they haven't like. Okay, you know, Foster the People, they like pumped up kicks. This is not rap at all, but like, I just been listening to a lot of music that makes me feel really good. And like, they have a song called "Sit Next to Me."
Okay, by who?
Foster the People.
Sick.
And like, Yeah, it was on like one of their, I think their last album or something like that. I don't really listen to them that heavy. Like I never have until like this project, and this project makes me feel really good. But their song "Sit Next to Me" on it has like some real nice summer. That's just like, yeah,
Vibes, summer
you can't
vibes.
not smile. Like it's one of those ones.
You know, random enough, like a very new artist that I like kind of stumbled upon. I was like, this person's really dope. Halal Soul.
Okay,
It's kind of like a
set up or no?
electronic,
That's
I
a
want to say EDM-y, like
that's a sick.
lo-fi type of vibes. If I'm like getting all like I'm just trying to give a wide spectrum, but like it's different. But if that's, you know,
Yeah.
Ali, it's not words, it's just fire. Like, yeah.
So I mean,
I've been tapping into that. But if it's okay with you, do I have permission to just give the people a little bit of a sample of Wrong Time, Wrong Place?
yeah, of course, of course. Do you think?
Okay, so guys, this is Wrong Time, Wrong Place by yours truly, okay, Boy Pape, and he's giving me permission, so you two don't come for me. Jeez. So that's all y'all are getting. Make sure you go on YouTube, and we'll make sure to add in the track to our. Do you have a lyric video yet for the track on YouTube?
There's one coming. Yeah.
Okay, so when that drops, send it over so that we can add it into our YouTube playlist, all the things. And you know, I want you. Do you remember Speaker's Corner? I don't know if.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So here, Downtown World, even though this is Downtown Music segment, I'm still carrying it through all the segments where I added a Speaker's Corner section. So I don't even give a fuck if it has anything to do with our conversation today. This is Downtown Speaker's Corner. Boy Pape, the corner is yours. Lego.
Oh, shit, what am I talking about? All apartments should fucking come with AC. Like all apartments should come with AC. That's my biggest thing right now. Okay, so I'm in. Fuck that. Okay, so I'm in this. I just got this new apartment, right? And
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, newly rent. Like everything's new, which is nice. And they're like, yeah, AC. So I moved in 2 months ago, and they're like, yeah, AC. Like, and when it was still kind of cold, so I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're like, yeah, we're building the AC for June 1st. It is June fucking 7th. Yeah, that's 6 days late, my guy, from my fucking mathematics. So yeah, every apartment should have fucking AC before it gets to the fucking
livable stage.
Ridiculous. But yeah.
I'm with you. Like at my condo, like they fucking at my condo, because I had to get a portable AC, but at my condo they started working on the balcony. They said beginning of May, bro. Beginning of May. What day are we at? Like I can't go on my balcony. Like I can't go on so I'm supposed to stay in this incubator.
Yeah, right.
Y'all just feel like what
preheated, ridiculous. Honest.
I am.
It's so dumb.
That right there is it.
Green with the heat. Dumb.
I was like, oh my gosh, Boy Pape, you've been amazing. Thank you for entertaining my craziness. I truly enjoyed this conversation. I'm looking forward to seeing like what you have to come, because as I said, from what I'm hearing so far and what I'm picking up, and now with your personality, I'm really excited to see what you had to come, and I'm full support, Downtown World. We love you. So please let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can support you. And as well, something I've been normalizing, and shout out to Bianca, love you queen. Something we've also been normalizing is how you prefer to be approached.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
We're setting our boundaries.
So, Boy Pape Behave on all socials. And then BOYPAPE, BOY space PAPE on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all that. How I like to be approached. Like a human being. Like, I don't know, like I don't know, like I try and approach most people like I would approach like an adult, like an elder, like just super like neutral, respectful, like kind, but like yeah, no like ulterior motives and shit.
Facts. And
because
even if it
no
is,
matter who
they'll
it is
come with
talking to,
respect.
yeah, and like no matter who it is you're talking to, if they have an ulterior motive, eventually and like inevitably you'll find that out. So you just like, yeah, just come correct and come like just come respectful. Like and yeah, approach someone how you'd want to be like approached, you know, treat someone how you want to be treated. People learn that at 4 and forget it at 25. It's ridiculous.
Facts.
So yeah. That's pretty much it. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, this has been Boy Pape, newest record out right now, Wrong Time, Wrong Place, produced by Slow Jams. Make sure you go stream that on all streaming platforms. Hit him up, follow him on all his social media. Thank you guys, and thank you, Boy Pape, for not wasting any time with negativity today. Here at Downtown, we also say eat fruit and mind your business. Eat fruit and mind your business. So that's what we did today. Thank you, King, and you all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We love you all, and have a great time.
About to go downtown.